You want a bigger life, healthier, stronger, more free, right? And yet, most days feel like survival mode. I'm talking about many of us that go through it, where we go through work, take care of everyone else. Then we like crash on the couch. Now, maybe that's not the typical day for you, but that is a typical day for many people. And if you keep living only in this the reaction mode to stress, to schedules, the thing is, months pass and nothing big seems to change. So here's the first shift for you in today's podcast. The first shift is deciding that this is no longer a wish. And the path is, hey, I am going to walk. I am going to move forward. I'm going to keep pursuing after my goal. Because when you think about your goal, your health and fitness, and I'm making the assumption that you've got a health and fitness goal here, but you treat it not as a side project that you fit in when life slows down, but it becomes just part of how your life runs. Now, I get it. If you haven't been in that situation, or you haven't been in that situation for a long time, it's easy to give your power away to external circumstances. So we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to give you one power tip that you're absolutely going to love to. And if you want to turn your decision into something that decision on your goal that really fits your real schedule, your real week, head over to talktoperry.com and let's build a simple plan so that your goal and your calendar finally match up instead of pushing things off to someday, maybe world. Talktoperry.com. I'll drop that in the lower third if you're watching there on the video. So let's start here. Start by deciding and defining what is that next level for you? What does it look like in plain terms? Maybe it's more energy in the morning, feeling steady and confident in your clothes. Maybe it's having strength and confidence to just say yes to things that you're avoiding right now. Now, I'm just coming up with a few ideas, but you can come up with your own here. And when you see that picture clearly, a lot of times people will come up with things that they don't want. Come up with things that you do want. What would you love? When you see it clearly, just going for persistence here, it really has a purpose. So you're actually just moving toward and walking through that life that you want. Strong will. It comes from, and I'm not talking about willpower here, where you've just got to grind it, but just having the will to do whatever it takes to reach your goal, not in a perfection way, but something that comes from structure. Let me break this down. Let's think of it in three parts here: reason, standard, and path. Your reasons why you want to go after your goal in the first place. That's the deep why. Why is the secret here. Everything starts with why, as Simon Sinek said. And it shouldn't be vague. A lot of times people come up with, I'll ask them, what is your goal or what would you love? And they'll come up with all the things that they don't. And then eventually when they come around to wanting to dial in their goal, they'll come up with something vague like, well, I just want to be healthier. I just want to be toned up and in shape. You want to just be a little bit more specific. For instance, hey, I want to stay active with the people I love. I want my body to support travel and fun. My point here is a strong reason keeps you steady when your progress feels slow or boring. Okay? And that can happen. A lot of times people are like, oh, I just need a different thing, a different plan. And they're always ricocheting between other things and really not staying focused on their goal. They're looking for the next shiny object, and that takes them off track. And then they're looking for the next one. And let's talk about standard here. This is the line that you hold for yourself. Perfection's off the table here. Protect the minimum even when life gets chaotic. So here was my minimum, how I did it. So I realized that I wanted to get healthy and fit and in shape, and I wanted to work out. I wanted to lose the beer gut. I wanted to have the energy. And I realized, hey, I know I need to work out and eat better. And I wasn't showing up for my workouts. I put it off. I'd make up a story and say, well, I'll make up for the next day. Then I realized there's the aha. I need to figure out a way to just start my workouts. Because once I got started, most of the time I was okay. Even though it might have been an off workout, I still needed to get going. So my bare minimum, and I didn't adhere to just doing a minimum each day, but my minimum was to start and commit to at least 15 minutes when I felt life was chaotic or out of control. Most of the time, that got me started enough to where I finished the workout, which was usually about 30-minute workouts. But I realized, oh my gosh, I'm just not starting. So this is exercising most days of the week, even if life's chaotic. Protein and water, especially where you're getting that in your day before your snacks. Having mostly vegetables. A bedtime that really supports your energy. Those standards that you set for yourself, it removes the drama. Now, you got to get radically honest with yourself with those standards. Standards are not something that you just negotiate and push out of the way when life gets chaotic. That's not a standard. Standards remove the drama that you already decided what showing up is going to look like. So that's where I was at. It's like, hey, my standard is I'm showing up and starting my workout right after I get home from work. And my commitment is if I'm feeling off, a little bit of a headache, dogs were sick, whatever it is, I'm committing to at least 15 minutes. And then I can call it a day. But my goal is to finish the workout. So the path is how you live your schedule and how that blends into your schedule. So when do you do time for exercise? What kind of workouts fit in your current season? When does food prep happen? What needs to happen and be ready so you can have a ritual to get to bed at a decent time? Those were things I factored in. Workout happens right after I get home from work. Sunday afternoons is meal prep, so I don't have to scramble to create a lunch every day. Bedtime, it's happening at 9 o'clock each night because I get up early each day to get my day going. So, and it could be any time, but that's the ritual I was doing. And so that was my path. Your will grows when the plan is simple and is written down, not floating in your head. There's your power tip for the day. So many of us would go like, oh, I've got it up here. Yet you've got a lot of other things up here demanding your attention and pulling you off track, especially when you're trying to negotiate with yourself. Get it down. Have it posted in front of you all the time. You also need a mindset for the parts of your journey when life doesn't feel exciting. At the start of your journey, everything feels fresh. It feels exciting. But when regular life kicks in, deadlines, family needs, long days, low sleep, those sort of things, that's where many people just quietly step away. They drift off course and they decide the goal isn't realistic. I got to come up with another plan. And then they'll go into this overthinking mode and never execute another plan. This is where will and persistence matters the most. You're not here to crush every workout or eat perfectly. Just refuse to repeat the old pattern of quitting when life gets uncomfortable. Now I know what you're saying. You're saying, I'm not a quitter, but life got busy, and you'll talk up a good story and justify it. You won't call it quitting, but it's a slow fade. It's a drift off course. Whatever you want to call it, that's what's happening. So you might need to look at yourself here and just say, some days it might mean I'm cutting down my workout time like I did with my 15-minute rule. Doing that instead of skipping it altogether. And you got to catch yourself when you're saying, well, 15 minutes isn't going to make a difference. 15 minutes makes all the difference because it means you're showing up and not avoiding it, and not procrastinating it or delaying it. So this could be closing your laptop just before you go to bed, turning off the smartphone, that sort of thing. Creating, even just choosing one solid meal instead of giving in to whatever's most easiest and convenient. next level adventures in your life, they're going to come from staying inside. They're going to come from getting outside of your comfort zone, not staying inside them. So they come from just saying yes to actions that support your future, even when it feels awkward and you haven't done it before, or maybe it's inconvenient at first. As you keep showing up and putting in your reps, you start to trust yourself again. More opportunities happen. You see proof that not only you're following through, but you'll start to feel the results. Here's where the journey comes in. It comes in more than just chasing a number on a scale or a date on a calendar. It's really building a life where your daily actions and your big goals, they finally match up. That's next level growth. Out of the days where you could have backed away, you could have given yourself a false promise that you'll make up for it tomorrow. That's future me's problem. You know what? You're showing up. You have that within you. Each honest step that you take is part of a new story that you're writing for your health, for your fitness, for your life, one decision at a time. You've got this, my friend. I'd love to hear your top takeaway from today. If there was another power tip in there that really resonated with you, drop that down in the comments. I promise that I will reply. You absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day, I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to upsidedownfit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find the show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.